I've found throughout working with children and families that there are three key things that really impact how successful we can be when working together. The first thing is how motivated your child is. So for instance, if you're desperate for your child to ride their bike, but actually they're not bothered about the fact that they can't, we're going to really struggle for them to succeed in that goal. Bike riding, as many skills do, require lots of rehearsal and practice and dedication. And so if motivation is lacking, that's a real difficulty for us to overcome in therapy. The next most important factor is flexibility. So in order to change your child's performance, we're going to need them to consider different ways of doing that task, perhaps different materials, different tools, different ways to position their body so that they can succeed. And some children find that a real challenge. So if your child is quite inflexible in thought, that's going to make it harder for us to succeed. Whereas if they're willing to try new things and different ways of working, that helps us to succeed much more in therapy. And the other factor that really impacts the outcome for us is your child's ability to think and remember. So as we're guiding them to discover what works for them, they need to be able to think through a task. They need to be able, with our help, to think about where the task is breaking down and what they might need to be able to try to do differently. So being able to remember those strategies is also key. So if we find a way for them to succeed but they then can't remember it, that's really difficult as well, and that impacts therapy. So what if your child isn't motivated? Maybe they're not flexible, or maybe they have real difficulties with thinking and remembering. Does that mean I can't help your child? Not at all. It just means that we need to work differently. It just means that the therapy is going to be much better achieved by creating that environment at home so that they can work differently on a very frequent basis. So you'll find me partnering with you a lot more in this situation rather than working directly with your child, and supporting you to put in place measures at home and at school so that that child has got the best chance of success.